Hello and welcome to Racing News 365's preview of the United States Grand Prix, marking the first part of the Americas triple header and the end of the F1 autumn break. My name is Nick Golding and we are going to look ahead to the 19th round of the 2024 F1 season, which just so happens to also be a sprint weekend. But before we get on with the video, make sure to smash the like button, but also subscribe to the channel, as more than 90% of you currently aren't. On that note, let's get on with the video. Contracted until 2026, the United States Grand Prix is one of the most exhilarating events on the F1 calendar, with the circuit of the Americas consisting of every type of corner. Slow speed, medium speed, high speed, COTA has it all, as well as a 1.18km main straight and a first corner which is 30 metres higher than the start-finish line. The USGP debuted on the F1 calendar in 1959 at Sebring, a race which was won by Bruce McLaren. It has moved off the calendar at times, with this weekend's race being the 45th USGP and the 11th in a row at COTA, which first featured in 2012. With 6 victories, Lewis Hamilton is the most successful driver in the USGP, having won at Indianapolis once in 2007 and at COTA 5 times, the last of which came in 2017. Fellow 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher is the second most successful driver, with 5 wins to his name. The two 7-time world champions both hold the record also for most consecutive USGP victories at 4 in a row. Max Verstappen will match that with victory on Sunday. With 10 wins, Ferrari are the most successful team in the event. Coming in at 5.513 kilometers, the anti-clockwise Circuit of the Americas is the 8th longest track on the calendar. It is a venue with several high-speed corners, with Sector 1 being reminiscent of Silverstone's iconic Maggots and Beckett's. In the current regulations, a qualifying lap lasts roughly 95 seconds. COTA is made up of 20 corners, several of which can be used for overtaking. If overtaking at corners is too difficult, then the track does consist of 2 DRS zones between corners 11 and 12 and 20 and 1. Overall, it is a circuit which offers some remarkable onboards, purely for the rapid change of direction. In terms of the timetable, F1 this weekend will follow, as mentioned at the beginning of this preview, the sprint format. This format will appear 3 times across the remaining 6 races. For those in Europe, it is a late weekend. In fact, for all session times in CET, please see the graphic on the screen. For those in the UK, like me, listen closely. On Friday, the only practice session of the weekend starts at 6:30 PM, before sprint qualifying takes place at 10:30 PM Friday night. The sprint race gets underway at 7 PM Saturday evening, before traditional qualifying starts at 11 PM Saturday night. The race is on Sunday at 8 PM. A very warm weekend is forecast in Austin, Texas this weekend, with rain not being a threat in the slightest. Highs of 30 degrees Celsius are forecast for each day of the Grand Prix, with a moderate breeze ranging from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Due to the humidity, it will actually feel like 35 degrees, making for a hot and sweaty affair for teams, drivers and fans in attendance. What happened last year? Last season's United States Grand Prix was, and it's fair to say, a chaotic affair, which saw Verstappen victorious in both the sprint race and the main one. The big drama in last year's event occurred post-race, after Hamilton and Charles Leclerc were both disqualified. Hamilton and Leclerc had finished 2nd and 6th respectively, but were disqualified due to the skid block on both cars having been found not in compliance with the F1 technical regulations. The sprint format played a part in Hamilton and Leclerc's DSQ, as Mercedes and Ferrari did not have enough time to gather enough data to understand what ride height was required. This is because Parc Fermé last season was in operation ahead of qualifying on the Friday evening, whereas now it reopens following the sprint race and closes before qualifying. As a result, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz inherited second and third. Red Bull Judgment Day. This weekend is a crucial one for Red Bull, which will decide whether it remains in the title fight against McLaren. The Milton Keynes based team will introduce a new significant upgrade at COTA, which it hopes will end its recent issues with the RB20. The situation for Red Bull is simple. If the upgrade works, Red Bull is back in a title fight and Verstappen can breathe in the Drivers' Championship. If it doesn't, then not only are the outfit and Verstappen up against it for the remaining races, but it puts Red Bull under significant pressure ahead of 2025, with Christian Horner having confirmed that its car next season will be an evolution of its current car. Verstappen recognises the significance of Red Bull's upgrade this weekend and recently said, "I don't know if it's make or break, but from now on, of course, we want to make steps forward. When or how it will arrive, I don't know yet, but we are just trying to get the balance back together." Verstappen boasts a 52-point lead over Norris, the same margin he had over the Briton back in Miami. However, the gap had stretched to over 80 points following the British Grand Prix, meaning the gap is coming down. The pressure for Norris, despite having the strongest car on the grid, is to keep performing consistently, with only his best being enough to dethrone Verstappen. Even that might not be enough though, should Red Bull's upgrades work. The added pressure for Red Bull is this weekend being a sprint event, meaning the outfit has just one practice session to understand the upgrades. Because so much is riding on Red Bull's upgrades working, Norris is becoming viewed as the title favourite by an increasing number of people despite his current deficit to Verstappen. Even Verstappen conceded after Monza a few rounds ago that his chances of becoming a four-time world champion this year are unrealistic. That is just Max saying what he wants to say, Norris recently told media including Racing News 365. Even if I win every race, catching him is still not an easy thing to achieve, so he is still easily the one in a better position. I would much rather be in his position than in my position, and as soon as Red Bull can figure out where they've gone wrong, I expect them to win a few races, to be fixing their problems and come back strong again. It is not like they've been that far off at every race. Elsewhere, a significant story ahead of this weekend is the return of Liam Lawson, who has replaced Daniel Ricciardo at RB for the remainder of the season. A tricky weekend awaits the New Zealander, who has a 10-place grid penalty for the sprint race following an engine change according to Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko. Lawson has 6 races to not only prove why he deserves the RB seat alongside Yuki Tsunoda next year, but why Red Bull should consider him as a candidate to replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull. Oh, it is so good to have F1 back this weekend. It looks set to be an event full of action and drama. Be sure to let us know your predictions for the USGP in the comments section below. And on top of that, smash a like on this video and subscribe to the Racing News 365 channel. We will see you this weekend for the United States Grand Prix. See you later.